You guys, there is still so much being said about the canceled girls. Tana and Brooke, with people speculating on whether or not they hate each other behind the scenes. Brianna Chickenfry is weighing in. Brooke is clapping back. There's also some other things going on with Brooke, and we are going to get into all of it that is being said. Before we spill the tea, let's talk about what to do when life spills you. If you've been seriously injured and don't know where to start, Morgan & Morgan might have your back. America's largest personal injury law firm. And they make it so easy to turn a messy situation into a better one. And if you become their client, they make hiring a lawyer super simple. I for sure used to think that hiring an attorney was this long and complicated, expensive process, but not with Morgan & Morgan. More than 3 million people have trusted Morgan & Morgan when they were injured in an accident. And when you're injured in an accident, hiring an attorney is one of the first things you should do. Morgan & Morgan has achieved significant verdicts in the past couple of months for victims involved in life-altering car crashes, and the fee is absolutely free unless you win your case. And with Morgan & Morgan, submitting a claim is so easy. Everything can be done right on your phone. You can submit your case details, sign contracts, upload documents and medical records all from your cell phone. And you can even text your attorney and legal team throughout the duration of your case. So if you ever get seriously injured, your case could be worth millions, and you're only a few clicks away from potentially changing your life. It's literally so easy. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan by going to www.forthepeople.com/spillsesh. The link will also be in the description, or you can scan the QR code on the screen using your phone. And I want to say thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into the news. Over the last couple weeks, there's been so much said about Brooke and Tana and the future of the canceled podcast. After the girls scared some people into thinking the podcast was ending abruptly, Tana clarified that they would be posting through the end of the year until their contract is up. She said they might come back to do canceled, but for now, this is where their heads are at, because they've just grown out of this podcast and have very different visions for content that they want to make in the future. In the last video I made talking about this, I talked about how people have tried to boil this all down to Tana and Brooke simply not getting along or liking each other anymore as the reason why they're not doing the podcast. Tana did try to combat these claims, saying, "I love Brooke, don't twist that. Just eventually there will be a new era, people grow and we need to." But of course, not everyone believes them when they say they're all good and feel like once the podcast ends, they won't be hanging out with each other. Brianna Chickenfry and Josh Richards talked about the canceled podcast during BFFs the other day, and Brianna said that she felt like Tana and Brooke hated each other based on what she's seen.
I guess Brooke was saying like she got thousands of hate comments, like they would get thousands of hate comments from doing the podcast. So like, you know, it was a hard thing to continue to do.
That's literally why we ended Plan B. It was just hate comments, and it was not fun anymore. And then you just like learn to hate it. And so I mean, I totally get that part where it's like it's not enjoyable anymore.
I think it just depends where you look. I mean, I don't know about them, but anytime I ever saw a clip about the canceled podcast, or it seemed like it was mostly love.
Well, I think they genuinely do hate each other. Like they don't seem like they actually like each other outside of having, I mean, they don't even seem like they like each other on the podcasts.
Damn. Okay. I don't really watch a lot of the podcasts. You know, I get a clip here and there.
I mean, I do only see clips, but it is them always disagreeing. Or it's like the Jortsgate was crazy, or it just seems like...
Yeah, I don't even know about that. I've heard of it, but just never...
It's probably a good thing that they're ending this, like for their mental health. It just doesn't seem beneficial for anyone besides making money.
Brooke ended up replying to the clip saying, "Have different opinions equals loathe each other entirely. Noted." Under clips of the podcast where they talked about the future of canceled and it coming to an end, people have had a lot to say, from talking about Brooke and Tana's friendship to Brooke in general, saying, "I feel like Brooke became inauthentic over time. When Tana tells a story, she can't just acknowledge it. She tries to one-up her and respond about herself, and at least to me, the podcast was good because they were different. Tana doesn't align with Brooke anymore. They have grown apart. Tana's being so graceful about this, and the truth is, Brooke would never be that graceful if the shoe were on the other foot. Tana's new era is going to be amazing from the hints we're seeing in her growth. I knew this tour would immediately destroy them." And someone commented, calling out the comment section as the reason why they're ending the podcast, saying, "This comment section is what they mean." And she said, "Exactly what we mean." Brooke also posted addressing hate she's gotten, saying in a TikTok, "Me, I love my job more than anything, but I need to step away for a while because the hate is making me want to discontinue my life subscription." The comments, "Can we please get her off the podcast? I hate her so much." Someone commented on this and said, "Are you off the podcast yet? Can we have the rest of the season with just Tana and Paige? Just T and P. You go do TikTok shop and spend your millions you got on tour thanks to Tana. No one knows you without her. And Brooke replied with a video of herself on vacation. And someone said, trying to act all unbothered, we know it's fake. And she said, first of all, I'm completely bothered. This video is about flexing my wealth. She isn't even just hearing it from the comment section recently, because on the recent Jeff FM episode, it seemed she was taking shots over there as well, whether it was jokes or not.
Let's talk about some drama. That canceled podcast is finally over. Ryan, what are your thoughts? How are you going to go on with your life? How will you live? How will you survive?
Well, I don't know. I think Tana will probably continue the show by herself, and it'll be a lot better.
What? Bro, damn.
What?
That was a
why is it
brutally, I guess, truthfully honest answer from you.
Why
I
is
mean,
it over?
Brooke, I mean, come on.
What don't you like about Brooke?
I don't know.
She's a racist.
Yeah.
No, I just had a simple question here. But
I mean,
are you going to miss the show or not? I don't want to get into all this.
She just,
but,
I don't know.
I mean, speak your mind, you know?
I'm not speaking my mind.
Isn't
Just
she
going
dating-
by what I
isn't
read
she-
on the internet.
Yeah, I'm repeating what I heard on the internet. She's racist, she's dating a file, and then something else.
Man, those are their own fans ruin their show.
But it isn't all drama for Brooke, at least not in her personal life, sort of. As she's announced Thursday that she's engaged. People had been wondering if she was because there was a video posted of her at Aloe and she was wearing a ring on her finger. And some were saying that she was just manifesting getting engaged by wearing that ring and that she had been talking about the fact that she was manifesting. But then she posted these photos with her now fiance Miles and announced their engagement, writing on Instagram, engagement moon in the caption. Though, of course, not all the comments are positive, as her boyfriend slash new fiance has been in some drama, as when they first started dating and people identified who he actually was, people called out the fact that he had allegedly dated someone way younger than him in the past, and so he's not got the best reputation. People were out to cancel this man, and Brooke stood by him, defending that it was all lies that were being spread about him, and has continued to defend his name as people commented under the engagement post, writing, "The ring doesn't remove the allegations, dear." And she said, "Mind you, there is not a single human person to validate." She's not one to avoid the comments, that's for sure, and it seems to be the reason she also agreed to go on Isaac Rochelle's podcast recently, where he addressed her past controversies and racist tweets head on. And he did get some backlash for having her on the podcast, but he was straight up asking her about this and she was addressing it.
And like, I want to talk about this. So Tana came out with a video, and you don't need to speak for Tana at all. But Tana came out with a video, like, we are totally against this. We don't stand for that on this show, yada, yada, yada. And then you came back on like a month later. What was the feeling coming back? Did you feel guilty? Were you like, I should not be doing this? Like what? Because, and let me preface this a little bit more. I think for the audience, it's interesting, like what that process looks like behind the scenes. So like, just what was your feeling?
Like, of course, I was very apprehensive. I was nervous, of course, because at this point, you know, I had such reactive responses and like emotional responses. And I'd been so, you know, I like I said all the wrong things and I was afraid. So I sat down again and I'm afraid, but that's my job. And I had to sit down and I'm in a contract and I have to work. And I feel like a lot of people were frustrated that I didn't take longer to process it all. I think to me though, it was hard for me to explain, but for everybody else, like they saw the tweets and that was the first time they had experienced that, you know what I mean? But I knew those tweets existed. I was ashamed of those tweets long before anyone brought them to my attention. You know what I mean? Like, and I'd been vocal about that. You can find on my social media today, like on my Facebook and on my Instagram, me talking about how, like, I can't believe the things that I used to believe. I can't believe that I ever played like such a part in this. And nobody thinks they're racist. Like, well, there are people who of course think they're racist, but there are a lot of people who think like, because I don't dislike Black people, because I don't feel differently about Black people, I can't be racist. And that's not true. And I feel like I had such a learning curve with that, where I was like, oh, a lot of the things that I've said and done are racist, even though I know that I don't dislike Black people.
Like I said, the reactions were pretty mixed, with people upset that he was giving her the chance to speak on this, while some were feeling like Brooke sitting down to have this conversation was nice, that she wasn't running away from the subject matter. But that is what has been going on with Brooke, the canceled podcast, with Tana and Brooke's friendship, what people have been saying. I want to know what you guys think about all of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.